say is number 11 will be moved to executive session, and those results will be published in the notes just because there's some HR stuff potentially. Number 5 we're going to strike. And on number 8, I'd like to add some information about our line of credit and a future line of credit and finances in general. So we need to approve the minutes from April 15th. Does anybody want to make a motion to approve those minutes?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? Next is to approve the meeting from the May 3rd special meeting, which related directly to our line of credit with M&T Bank. I have a motion to approve those.
I'll make a motion, we approve that.
Second.
Now we open it up for commentary on anything in particular that anybody would like to bring forward. Yeah, Karen?
Oh, those 911 signs, I asked Mike about it, he's not here, I guess, and I forgot to ask. Because he said you can get them from him.
You just walked in.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Your ears burning?
About the 911 signs, do we have to ask you for them, is that how it works?
Yes.
Because I forgot to ask. So since it's springtime, I don't know if we could put a blurb in, you know, if anyone needs one. Mine's kind of been eaten by a tree. It's being, whatever.
Your signs there.
Yeah, you can't really read it, it's getting all,
So just, the post needs to be put down.
oh, I don't have a post, it's a tree. Yeah, how do you white put them in? I'd rather put it on something else.
Post.
Okay, that's my thought, okay. So we asked Mike then, basically, just call you and he'll give us one? All right.
Is Pine Hill Road sign knocked down too? Was that knocked down?
I haven't been down there in a long time, I don't know.
Shame.
I know.
I'll have to check. I don't know.
Pollard, yeah, Pollard, speaking of signs, the Pollard Road sign's leaning against the tree again. Hopefully it won't
Okay.
fall over.
There's a post there.
Yeah, but it's been leaning against the tree for a while.
That's Larry's job then.
I don't know whose job, doesn't matter. It keeps getting,
Larry's list getting longer.
So when we did that,
Oh, no, wait,
Is there any other, anything else
Other
anybody
discussion?
wants to discuss with the select board?
just, you know, when you go up Pine Hill and you take that left where that 180 acres is that an official road now?
Pine Hill Road is always been a lake.
No, the one to the left that goes towards my property.
Yes, but it's in Schoolhouse Road.
Is there a sign in there too?
All right, we're going to get on to approving liquor licenses for the Echo Lake Inn Resort and Whetstone Station Restaurant and Brewery, a special events permit. Any discussion about these?
That's the one from they're having it in the park, right?
Where's Whetstone?
They're out of Brattleboro.
but where are they located?
Where's the event?
Where are they located?
And they're gonna have it
No,
in the
there's just
park.
one event.
At Echo Lake Inn.
Okay.
Oh, it's just a one-time thing?
Yep.
Okay.
Echo Lake Park,
That's
I mean,
curious.
state
It says
park?
Echo Lake Resort.
I know.
Oh,
So I guess they're running something at the,
Oh, I thought it was at the park.
it's probably a
That's what I
wedding
thought.
where they have their,
Wasn't that at the park?
I thought it was at the park.
oh, it says Echo Lake Resort on this.
Well, there's two on there.
Okay, oh, got it.
Echo Lake is a
This is
Oh,
the
it
Echo
does
Lake.
not say you're right, it does not say
Then-
it on the,
Like I said, this is a separate one for that, the camp party. It's a brewery coming up from Brattleboro to have a party in the,
Okay,
and they
yeah.
need a liquor license.
is that because it's being restored or brought back?
I have no idea.
Okay. Do you want to approve these separately?
Sure.
But you had asked if that was not even in our purview, why would we have to, because it's a state park.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why do we have to?
Right.
That's what I remember.
It has to be approved at the town level, though. I called them.
Here, okay.
They both have
Yep.
But
I'll make a motion to approve both of those, unless anybody's
I'll second.
concerned. 5:20.
When did they want to do that?
June 15th and 16th or something. I think they did.
That's Congress.
I guess he's gonna get that.
Okay. Then we need this one.
Next on the list is to review a couple proposals for American flags to be put on poles throughout the town. And just out of curiosity, I didn't see the number of poles on, wait, 35 flags. And we have two quotes. One is for a domestic version, which is $5,156, and we have a foreign version of that for $2,436.
Motion to accept the US-made flag.
That is a 25% discount on the Allegiance, and she waived the $300 shipping fee, she said, on there.
Do we comment now?
They're actually, they're hand stitched. They're like actually made, really handmade in America. They're not
The top one.
mass produced crap.
Probably
So, I mean, they are more expensive, but they'll probably last longer.
take care of it, most people.
It would seem a contradiction not to buy
Yeah,
what's
I
made
mean,
here. But
I had seen an ad, there's a television ad that runs during, sports, NASCAR races for that company. That's how I learned about them.
sorry,
Where are they gonna be placed?
on telephone poles? Within,
Like by Round Top, like the bottom of Round Top, going through
Oh, okay.
here to where the speed limit picks up a little, just past, on 100 South here, and then up the notch, so
So
there's approximately 35
Oh,
poles.
this is the American made? This says American made too, Keith. American flags, American made. I don't know what that, and it's half the money. But, I mean,
could you confirm that for us, Angela?
the,
I mean, I sent that one along. I didn't,
okay,
Yeah.
I don't know if they are, but
I don't know, it says it. Yeah, the Grace Alley, the cheaper one, says American made, American flags, American made.
Same
I
material.
guess we can confirm that.
Are they, yeah, are they
I
different
think they're
material?
different material, they're different material.
Probably.
Probably not.
Yeah, they gotta be if they're half the price, it's gotta be something.
So there's labor to install them. as well, is it, or does GMP do it for free?
They won't, I talked with Larry, it would be something that he and the town, we could work on doing.
Okay.
Because they have to go like 15, there's so many feet they have to be up, so, yeah, people can't take them and stuff, so.
So
Yeah,
durability's important.
I was noticing Bridgewater today, and they're up really high.
Yeah, I think it's 15 feet, they said.
That makes sense.
Paperwork.
People can't walk away with them
Yeah.
if they're gonna shimmy up the pole. Okay,
All right. All in favor?
I'm in favor, sure. Okay, go.
Ratification of the M&T Bank line of credit, current expense note, and Exhibit A. This was from our result, leftover from our special meeting, is that right?
Can we do that in,
Yeah, we-
May 3rd? We signed it then, didn't we?
Except,
We signed the document that was with it, but they wanted, it stated in the minutes that we had also not read the application, because it's very long and hard to read, but that it was attached to the document that we signed, which was the credit, line of credit document. So I wrote out something for you to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
perfect. Regarding the Town of Plymouth current expense note, in parentheses, line of credit, I move the Select Board to ratify that Exhibit A, the SOFR rate rider is incorporated as a referenced in the current expense note that the Select Board approved at a duly warned meeting held on Friday, May 3rd, 2024 at 8:30 a.m. in the Town Auditorium, and signed by Jay Coleman, Chairman of the Select Board, and Elaine Pauley, Treasurer. It's just a rider that talks about the rate. And we covered it.
I remember looking at that, right, we looked at all that fine print,
I didn't put it with the papers to be emailed back to them. I just sent signed documents back and not that page or those pages. So they wanted us to make a statement here that it wasn't, that you acknowledged that it was received.
Yep.
we attest to it now.
Yes.
That we signed the rider.
And we'll send the minutes of this meeting to them to prove that it was
Okay.
done.
So I'll make a motion to accept the statement that says we signed the rider.
Yeah, second.
Okay. And
Do we need
then,
to sign this, Jay? This,
we probably could, it's probably not a bad idea. And that way, if they ask Elaine for it, we'll just go ahead and.
um, this goes with it.
So just a little backdrop around that. I know we discussed this at our annual town meeting, but FEMA repairs were $2 million. And we paid for that with basically cash that the town had. We had just over $1 million in the general fund, which is a little high. And we also had reserves in the equipment building fund, so we had a lot of cash on hand. That's how we were able to pay for the flood repairs. This, we were able to get this low rate loan for $379,000 through the bond bank at a very low interest rate. We are also borrowing up to $1 million to pay our expenses. Even though we have money in funds, we have used the cash to cover the flood repairs, waiting for FEMA reimbursement. Last week I called Two Rivers Onequechee and the couple folks at the state and just said, hey, if we have another flood that, costs us a couple $1 million, what are we gonna do? So Elaine got a hold of M&T Bank, and I guess and found out we can borrow up to $6 million if we had to. Obviously, we hope that never happens, but there is a case where if we were not able to access money, we had another storm like we did this summer, if we weren't able to access money, we could not do repairs and we could not be reimbursed by FEMA. So we would, and other towns are facing this, right? If you don't have access to cash, you can't do the repairs, you can't get reimbursed. So that's a lot of the backstory behind this.
Is there a maintenance fee on this line of credit, or do they charge you a fee every year?
There are borrowing costs and interest, and the
Just
interest.
interest.
And yeah, and it's not cheap, but at current rates. And that's why it's a line of credit and not a loan. Currently, Elaine can take what she needs to pay expenses and then pay it back. So we are minimizing our borrowing at any given moment in time.
The municipal recovery loan from the Vermont Bond Bank is very generous, and its requirements for paying back at 1.3% interest. So the goal for us is we closed on this line of credit with M&T Bank and took $350,000 at disbursement at the time of closing. That's to get us through the next 3 months until we send out tax bills. But the goal, when we get a FEMA payment that's significant enough, we do have to pay $50,000 of that payment only. If we get $500,000 from FEMA and a check, we only have to pay back $50,000 within 45 days. They don't want to stress towns out by requesting that money be paid back as it comes in. They would rather towns pay tranches of $50,000. So that gives us a little bit of a cushion there. But then, when the tax payments start coming in, the line of credit with M&T Bank, which costs a lot more, can be paid back and be left there until the year is over. If we need it, if we have another flood, we will certainly utilize it. But it could be that we can pay it back and not have the interest payments on a quarterly basis from then.
So here's to keeping our fingers crossed. No more floods. And I think, I don't really feel clear on the FEMA reimbursement timeline. So that's something we're gonna have to probably dig into to give us a sense of, how long we're gonna be borrowing money for.
It's gonna be a year shortly. Yeah.
That would be good to know.
And I understand, it doesn't seem clear to a lot of people who are doing this, and I think our paperwork has been exemplary, and it's been submitted timely, so. We'll find out. That's a great segue into a grader quote.
I have some information on a grader. Here's a packet for you, one for you. Bottom line is, last meeting, we talked about a grader. We were estimating they were going to be about $500,000. We were wrong. I got a quote for a grader with all the attachments that we need for $339,900. Now, I also have a quote, an estimate on a lease payment. So if we were to get a 10-year lease, we can have an estimated cost of between $43,500 and $44,500, so call it $44,000 annually. But over a 10-year period, that adds $100,000 over the cost of the machine. And we have a budget right now, maybe not cash, but we have a budget with equipment reserve that'll pay for this right now. Our budget is, what we've accumulated is $350,000, and we have another $30,000 going in that fund on July 1, which was approved on our budget. So here's what we were thinking, Larry and I. If we were to get approval to purchase this now, we could take possession of it next spring, maybe April. And the money we have budgeted would pay for it. The $130,000 we have coming in July 1 of this year will pay for, I think we owe $90,000 for the plow and body for the new truck we just bought. That'll leave us $40,000 in that reserve fund. That's cutting it really tight, but it would only be for a couple of months until the next July 1 comes around. That's why if we put it off delivery, not payment to it till next spring, the following July 1, we'll have another $130,000 going into that fund as long as we keep approving budgets, and we'll be back to a comfortable position again. So we would be carrying $40,000 for 2 to 3 months in our reserve fund, hoping we don't need a new truck that broke down or crashed or whatever. And if we do, we'll just have to take a quick truck loan or something, but that's the discussion that Larry and I have. Now, I haven't had that discussion with the board, and I don't know how everybody else feels about it, but...
Well, I appreciate you getting this information. This is really helpful. This is less than I had imagined. So
Me too.
Thank you for that.
Me too. So that's where we're at. It's a Caterpillar, very similar to the one, same size we have now. What's up, Bruce? Get it?
What would you do with the one that we have now?
Oh, it's traded in. It's a $30,000 trade-in value as part of that
That's
package.
figured right into that.
Yeah, yeah.
There's two different ones, it looks like. One's a little bit cheaper than the other one.
No, really?
There's two different specs. One will come out
Oh, yeah, right.
311 grand, the other one's
Right,
339.
right, you're right. I see it now. Yep, it was the,
One of them's got more something.
yeah. I can't tell you exactly what, but that's the one we're looking at.
We'll try 7.1 with this. Same engine.
So I think that lease payment is the interest. I didn't get a quote on what the interest payment percentage would be, but it sounds like a lot of money. But we tried.
With current rates, I mean, it's probably around 7, maybe we can figure it out with an amortization calculator.
Yeah, we
Could
could-
fit it pretty
Yeah,
quick.
Back
it's
into it
tied to
somehow.
prime,
Huh?
and prime's still way too high.
Yeah.
So it's 339, but that includes the 30,000, so it'd
Yes.
so it'd be 369 without the trade.
Yes, correct. Correct.
What's an annual maintenance contract for those things? Do you know?
No, but I think it has a 6-year warranty, 7-year warranty. Okay. Another reason not to take the 10-year lease, because, 7-year warranty, which is pretty substantial.
And that includes any breakdowns or things that break that the town would not have to pay for, right? Under that 7-year manufacturer's warranty, what does that include?
That would be a manufacturer's warranty,
Okay,
yes.
good.
So what's your pleasure, board?
If I had to, I would love to see us take delivery of this in not 2025, but 2026, just based on cash flow. That would be how I would feel comfortable. And the pricing is great. It's much better than I had imagined. But I do see the one risk, is that we could end up putting $40,000 into a $30,000 machine with a breakdown,
Yeah.
and then be getting rid of it for $30,000.
Yep,
You know,
that's the downside.
That's,
Mhm.
so that's kind of the risk that I see. That said, it's been the one we have has been reliable. It's just getting to the point where our luck's gonna run out.
Yeah, they were servicing it last week again,
Yeah.
doing odds and ends.
Can we buy a service contract on the one we have now that would cover that type of stuff? Or would they not offer anything like that?
I'm sorry, Rick, I didn't hear you.
Two of them.
Would they, sometimes you can buy a service contract that would cover those really expensive repairs?
Right.
Could we, is it reasonable, financially reasonable that we could do that?
I will look into it. I don't know.
It's a 30-year-old machine, and typically in other equipment, no.
No, okay, just curious.
They're not
It's
gonna
like
cover it.
putting a service contract on a $300,000 Toyota. A 300,000 mile Toyota.
I was gonna say $300,000. What are you buying?
I agree with Jay.
Okay.
Price is good, but given that we're borrowing money to pay expenses, we should probably wait to go through this summer and see if we get wiped out again before we,
Yeah, and
Spend the
see what
money.
the FEMA, see what the FEMA payback schedule is. Okay.
Well,
I mean, we need the grade, no, we're great, most of we done grading now for the spring, right?
We got potholes on there.
Well, yeah. Well, yes and no. We've graded most of the roads, but now we have to go back and add gravel and regrade again. But that's okay. It makes sense to wait. Let's wait and see what our cash flow is and see what our FEMA payback schedule is gonna be, and we can sit on it for a while.
Didn't we rent a grader from somebody during the storm?
We may have, yeah, we did. We rented a lot of stuff.
It seemed expensive, but it was for a short period of time.
Yeah.
4 months, I think.
Yeah, who did we rent that from?
That could be the fail-safe, so to speak, of not buying it this summer and then having to need it and have it break down.
Yeah.
Being able to rent it.
Let's try and figure out what our FEMA
Yeah.
cash flow is gonna be, and we can table it for now, and if it looks like we got some cash coming in, we can pay for it without having to borrow more extra money, and we can move on it, but I'd like to not wait too long,
Yeah.
like you said, because you're gonna get no expenses, but it's all good,
Okay.
it's all good. We
And
can-
in the meantime, does Larry and Tyler and Caleb have a preference of like which one of the two yet? Are they just kind of
Yeah,
like they're
they
still?
they actually went and test drove one in Mount Holly.
Oh, cool.
That's a brand-new one, because that switches the controls over to a joystick, which they're not familiar with.
Okay.
And we wanted to see how they react to that, and they all liked it.
Okay.
It's a whole different
Okay,
animal.
so that's the difference I see now is the joystick versus the lever.
Yeah, I think it
Okay.
is,
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
Yeah, but it frees up. Yeah, it's good, it's all good.
And the newer machines have air conditioning, I imagine? I don't think
Probably.
Our existing one doesn't, does it?
No, no, I would assume the new one does.
I mean, I'm just thinking it's gonna be 90 degrees on Wednesday.
Yeah, I know.
It's May, you know,
I
just
know.
getting hot.
Yep. It is.
Waiting it out, what's the risk of price escalation over the next year or two? All the other heavy equipment seems to be fire trucks and.
It'll probably go up.
Seem to be going up a little bit. Yeah, I mean, not a little bit though, it's a significant.
A lot of this too, don't forget, is still due to what happened during the pandemic, and we're recovering from it. So what the future holds for that, nobody can tell. I'm seeing some costs starting to drop gradually, like building materials, starting to level off and drop a little bit. But I don't know how long it's gonna take for the supply chain to correct itself, that's the problem. It's been a tough road for everybody, no pun intended. Tough road for everybody.
Okay, so I guess we'll table it,
Okay,
for time being.
all right. As soon as we get some money back in,
Yeah.
all right,
we
sounds
can-
good.
We can bring it back up.
Animal control officer nuisance dog hearing, I don't think anybody is here for that. And I'm not sure it's come to that, we had a nuisance dog report.
And give an update.
I brought a dog.
Is
A
it a
yellow one?
nuisance?
Kind of rat dog.
What was, I think I had posed a question in an email, what's the situation with constable? Isn't the constable duly empowered to deal with that?
I thought I was on
And I did provide her with the information of this incident, and I think she made contact, but I've not heard anything else.
Is it a barking dog?
We don't know.
You all were talking about becoming an officer. That's why I asked the question, was if we've already got constable, then why do you guys have
Right, why
to?
Yeah.
not?
Dog catcher, and
I agree.
she should go deal with it. To the fullest extent of her powers.
Yeah.
She's got her cages.
We have a reminder of the Billings Bridge closure.
Yeah, I can speak to that, and I want to share something with you. So the Brilling Bridge construction started, the road's closed. I was over there Friday talking to the foreman, and they have stripped the wear surface off down to the deck. They've got the curbs and deteriorated concrete on the edges all torn apart, ready to start forming. But the part of the project was minor patching on the deck itself, and it's going to take a little more work than that. There's going to be a change order coming. If you go around the deck in different places and just hit it with a hammer, if you hit hard concrete with a hammer, it'll ping, it'll ding. But when you hit soft concrete, it goes thud. It's real obvious. And I went around with the foreman and we did a bunch of tests on the deck, and he thinks we should pour a 3-inch overlay over it, reinforced, and then put 3-inch asphalt on top. So I've asked them to give us a quote for that.
Did they strip any of the old, or did they go right over it?
Go right over it. Yeah, we can strip anything that's loose that comes up easy, but still there's some deficiencies there. So I'm waiting for that quote. I have no idea what it'll be. But now, I meant to mention this to you, Elaine, cash flow, that job's gonna be due in July too. And that's 200 and...
No, it's 120,000.
Two-
Was it? Or what is it?
220, 230,
Okay,
plus whatever this change order is gonna be.
yeah.
So that'll be due in July.
Well, we have a line of credit we can use.
Yeah,
if we want
yeah.
to.
Do we have a grant for that bridge?
There is, but we have to pay it and then seek reimbursement.
From the grant?
Yeah, is a process. But it's a cash flow thing. We gotta pay the contractor and then seek reimbursement. And we'll get it. But- Huh?
Is it a full grant?
Is it a what?
Spend, you get back? Full
Well,
grant, where is it?
198,000 or something.
Okay, but is it fully reimbursed?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Their grant request was out for 200,000. I think they approved 198 or something like that, real close to 200. That'll take care of the bulk of it. But we got to pay first and then get reimbursement. So it's a cash flow issue again.
Did they bill us at the end, or do they have incremental billing?
No,
throughout
that'll
the
be the
process?
end. They should be done in June,
Oh, okay.
is the bottom line. They'll open back up.
Rick, was repairing the dry hydrant part of that project or not?
Say that again?
Was repairing the dry hydrant there part of
Yes,
that project?
yes. But we can't get no water till June, but that's part of the job. Yep. So that's the Billings Bridge update.
Okay. So there's an update that I had too. I forgot, I didn't make it on here, but the Patchbrook Bridge down by the Tyson Church and
Oh,
Georgina
yeah.
Whalen, yeah. So there's a grant for that for $14,000. The slight problem is, and I need your permission to proceed, both of you. The engineering services came out higher. The grant allowed for about $1,500 in engineering services. The engineering services are actually going to require $5,000, largely because a survey has to be done for existing conditions. And the consultant said, which is Ted Reeves, who met us down there, he said they're going to want that for the stream alteration permit with Scott.
We talked about the bridge at the end of Dublin where we were with Larry then? in
Yeah,
the winter?
yeah,
The two guys who were there, right? Yeah.
yeah. And so, yeah, so to do that dredging, it's going to cost us $3,500 more to have for the plan. We may save some on the dredging, but the actual site plans is going to cost us more due to this having to contract out a.
Wait, dredging, you're talking about down at the lake?
No, the dredging before upstream and downstream sides of the bridge.
Oh, okay,
Where it flooded,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
So the idea is that by dredging, right, the water backed up in the flood, and if you dredge, you just actually have a bigger volume for the water to flow through. And so that's what we have this grant from the U.S. Department of Agriculture to do the dredging.
Do they put stone on the sides then, or just leave it?
already has stone on the sides, and I think
Oh, okay.
what has happened there is like the lighter, rounder river
Yeah.
stones have just been carried downstream and dropped
Yeah.
before and after the bridge. So, do we want to proceed with the additional $3,500?
That needs to be fixed, for sure, because you're gonna end up creating problems for the inn down the road and the library, and not to mention the houses that are right there.
Was he taking into consideration the catch basin Larry wants to put in and all that, or is that totally different?
Yeah, they're on board with that. They thought that was a great idea.
Yeah, that is a good idea. I like that. I'm glad
Yeah.
Because
that's,
you wanted to get a machine under the bridge, right?
yeah, they got to channel out, yeah.
Otherwise, you'll be back down there in the next storm fixing the road.
Yeah,
Where does it go after you, under the bridge? It goes through, what's his name's property?
Yeah.
on the other
Sheldon.
side,
Sheldon, Dave Sheldon.
Okay,
yeah.
and then down to the other where they just repaired by the old Tyson.
Now, the Selectboard,
Okay, it goes all the time.
I think that's
All right.
a good investment myself,
Okay, I think it's a small investment for the
yeah.
outcome that we're hoping for. I'll make a motion to approve that.
okay, all right.
Okay,
Yeah, good idea.
okay, awesome.
Okay.
If there's nothing else, then we just have mail warrants and some HR stuff in executive session.
Okay.
Anybody? Okay.
See you tomorrow?
Yes.
You can leave those, there's nothing to go tomorrow night.
Are you sure?
Thank you.